At that point, I was so much frustrated and I literally lost hope because it was like everything I've worked hard for, it just went. So I was literally depressed. In fact, 2019 is the worst year of my life.
In 2020 and 2023, affiliate marketing became very popular in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. We heard stories of people who make 100k per week, 200k per week, and lots more. This became the norm until somebody shattered the record by making sales of 22 million naira in 1 week and took home a whopping 11 million naira in commissions.
But the first day of that flash sale, I make 4.1 million the first day.
Crazy. That means you made like sales of like around 22 million for you to get 11 million at
because
50%
my commission
commission.
was 50%, so I made 20-something million in sales in just 1 week.
His name is Nwanneka. On today's episode of the show, we sit down with Caleb as he shares his journey with us. How he went from nothing to making lots of millions, winning 2 cars, multiple international trips.
I've gone to Qatar, Dubai, Seychelles, Egypt.
And has today become a household name in the affiliate marketing and internet marketing industry. Sit back and relax because we're about to have a jolly good time. And while at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the show.
Hello everyone, and once again, welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurs Connect show. As always, what we do here is to interview African entrepreneurs across board in different sectors and get them to share their stories with us, hear about their journeys, their failures, their successes, and everything in between. And today we have a very amazing guest in the house. And apart from being my dear friend, is somebody that I'm constantly inspired by. Okay, without wasting much of your time, let's dive right into it. I want to welcome to the show, Caleb Nwanneka. How are you doing, bro? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
As always, we rise by lifting others.
So you're lifting me like this.
Do you know what it is? I gave you the privilege to bring you on the Entrepreneurs Connect show, the global show.
How do I know you now?
One day, posterity will put that thing. Posterity will what? Posterity will judge you, or posterity will wait. I don't even know how this put again. But you know, this would be like something you point back to one day and say, I'm glad that when Joseph brought me on the Entrepreneurs Connect show, my life changed.
No, you're going to come back to it. I'm like, when I had access to Caleb, now I have to go through his PA.
I see. Let's get right into the show and get to hear you share your amazing story.
Of course.
Right, so, can you walk us through how life was growing up for you?
About that, it's going to be a bit lengthy, but I'm going to try to make it short.
Yeah.
So I'm going to first start by talking about my childhood. Because, you know, when people say things like they were born with a silver spoon or from an average family, I can't relate.
You're not born with a spoon. At least you were born with a spoon now, you know.
Maybe even wooden spoon safe. I don't see. So growing up, I grew up in Anambra. And I grew up in a village in Anambra. So when I came to live in Lagos was when I was 12. Yeah, that was when I came to live in Lagos. So during those periods, it was like about 2 times I came to Lagos. I was like in the visit, right? So I would come to because then one of my brother was staying in Iba, that is Ojo side. Okay. And I would go to his house. That was like 2 times it happened, right? And that was like a dream for every child staying in the village. I mean, going to Lagos, because when you hear Lagos, Eko, all those things, you just want to go to Lagos, right? And it was like, coming to Lagos those 2 times was like a dream come true for me, right? So I grew up in Anambra, and growing up in Anambra wasn't easy because before I was born, according to stories that were told by my parents, they said they were living in Lagos. Then in a 1-bedroom apartment, that is just 1 bedroom.
Like 1-bedroom flat.
Yeah, in the slums of Ajegunle, yeah.
So Ajegunle. You know, I remember I said them bomb man.
Exactly. So like when rain rains like this, rain can enter house, those kind of things. So and it was just a 1-bedroom apartment which they were living with.
Can you clarify 1-bedroom apartment?
Just like 1 bedroom, like no parlor. Just 1 bedroom. So everything you're literally doing is in the 1 bedroom. Both cooking, everything crazy. Is there. And they were living there with about 7 children as of then. Yeah.
How many children?
About 7 as of then.
You guys? For context.
We are 9. I think 9.
Your mom pushed 9 kids.
God kept blessing her. She kept.
Oh, God kept blessing her.
What can I say? I can't judge. So it was. You can imagine how bad it is.
Yeah.
Staying with about 7 children plus the husband and wife. That's 9 people in just one room. So we are trying to cope, but at the point it was unbearable. So they had to leave Lagos and then come back to the village, right? So when they came back to the village, my dad, he went into farming. So he went into farming and then he went into palm oil making, right? So growing up, I grew up into them making palm oil and farming, right? And it wasn't easy because, they were doing those, but those things were not really bringing much. Even to eat was problem, right? Like, it was literally problem. Like, then in my community, my village, if you want to, talk about symbol of poverty, you could use my family as a symbol of poverty.
Damn.
It was that bad. So if someone wants to give you, direction to my house, they could just say that family where they don't have, just literally describe what's poverty, what to do, people will know, understand where you're talking about. So then a car will come to my house and my dad will tell us not to sweep when a car comes to our compound, the
tire
marks, my dad will say we should not sweep it, so at least it will be known that the car came to his house. You get that kind of stuff? It was that bad.
Bro.
Literally. We stayed there 3-4 days before we eventually sweep it off. So it was that bad. So my childhood, I grew up, I went to school. I first started in the government school, a community government school. Then things were bad. If you see my school uniform then, very torn and all that. So I did primary 1, primary 2, primary 3 there. Then I was changed to a private school. Now that private school is not really the kind of private schools we have now. Then we are paying 1,000 naira, 1,500 per term as school fees, right? Imagine the kind of school you're paying 1,500 per term, not the kind of school it's going to be. So I went to that school, then I did from primary 3 to primary 5 because I jumped to primary 6. So I went from primary 5 to JSS1. Then from JSS1, of course, so I got scholarship. From my primary 3 to primary 5 was on scholarship based on I was a very brilliant student. Of course,
Really?
I'm very smart.
Yeah, you sure say you know they lie.
I'm very smart.
You sure say you know they lie.
How the fire you? So then from my JSS1, I started paying school fees. Then I skipped JSS3. So I wrote junior WAEC from JSS2. That was how brilliant I was then. So that was my childhood growing up. Right, so growing up, we didn't really have anything. So I didn't have any, they say, wealth moment or money moment or the whole thing of children watch. I didn't watch a single cartoon while growing up.
Oh, so when that Pastor Solo guy is saying, if you continue to give them to the poorest of the poorest.
So it was only once I watched Teletubbies, and it was when my uncle came back. So we had to go to his house, and then we stayed outside. The TV was inside, so we stayed
for
outside.
A window.
So it was just I was to watch those bouncing Teletubbies, and that memory is still in my head. That was the once I watched Teletubbies, right? So it was just that bad. The whole going to Tantalizer, then Mr. Beast, then I only used to hear of those places. People say they went to Tantalizer, and I never went to any of them, right? So that was my childhood growing up. So there was no money moment or saying I came from an average family or a well-to-do family, no, or middle class, no. There was no class for us.
You're in the lowest class.
Lowest class, right? So that was just my growing up and my childhood, how bad it was.
Crazy. What would you say was a turning point in your life?
Okay, so the turning point in my life. So, growing up, at a point, one of my brother had to go for the whole Igbo apprenticeship system, right? So when he went, I think he served for 8 years. Then his master settled him, right? So then he relocated to the country that he is. I don't want to mention the country.
Yeah.
So he relocated there and he's doing his business. So from there, it was as if, okay, things were beginning to get better. At least we could now see food to eat, good clothing and all that. But for myself, my turning point was I'm someone that I love entrepreneurship. I love business. Right, I love making money. I don't just want to make money. I want to be a businessman because there's a difference. You are making money and you're not a businessman. You're not building a business. You're just making money.
Yeah.
So I just loved the idea of building a business. Right. So the first time I actually made money, which I would say was the turning point of my life, that was in 2017/2018. Yeah. So how did I make the first money I ever made? I was doing a site work. First money I ever made, I can remember, I went to dig a foundation, a house they were building. So they said they need people to dig foundation.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'm going to do it. And I think I done like some meters. It was 6 feet, about 4 feet deep foundation. So I done some meters. After we are done, they now calculated it and paid us. Right, so that was the first time I made
I
money.
remember how much the money was.
Yeah, it was around 8 to 9K. Yeah, it was around 8 to 9K, if I remember. So they felt very good to make some money because I know that there was how to make money. Because I remember when I finished secondary school in 2015, right? Then in 2015, I was just at home. And I can remember I would see my secondary school mates. There was a twin, then they were into blogging. And I would see these guys, they would talk about blogging. I'm like, these guys
Where was secondary school?
My secondary school was in Imo State. It was a boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was this guy, I'm like, oh, how are these guys doing it? If I would literally go to, then I was in one phone like that. Literally go to Google and all those server phone, then I would type how to make money online. And so many things will come up. I would just become confused. There was one I even saw, survey, one survey, I followed through it, or wasn't making sense. Right? So me, the first money I made was doing that site work. So after I made it, it felt very good. Then I went ahead and did other site work, right? Like assisting bricklayers, because when you have a bricklayer, you have the person assisting them. So I used to serve them there. Serving them, then carrying block with barrow, bringing it to the site and stuff like that. So then I made money. In total, I made about like 30,000 in total because those things don't bring much money. In a day, they could pay you 1,500, right? So I made about 30,000 naira in total, 28 to 30,000. That was when I was now about to enter university. So I took that money and entered university because before you know it, the money is finished. So at that point, I stopped. But then I already had it in my mind. I can make money. So I kept looking for ways to make money. I kept finding ways to make money. There is this friend of mine, Praise, right? He's like a distant family member, but not so close. Right? So then we'll be talking about that. I want to make money. I want, like, literally just be taking a stroll. I'll be making plans of how I'm going to make money, how we are going to make money. Then I tried a lot of things. I tried Google AdMob. Then there was one time Google AdMob was running. That's how they used to do it. So you be the person clicking on those ads yourself. Then for Google to be paying you, but before you know it, Google will ban the account. Then it was 7K. I would do that was 7K. I kept it because I was just tired. When I started that thing, I was like already feeling rich in my head. I would take it at by 300 level. I will have a generator. I will have a very big lodge. Just those kind of things. Before you know it, that one did not work. So I tried a whole lot of things. Then till 2018, we were on holiday in 2018. Then I came across, we were not on holiday then. We were in school. Then that was when NNU came out, right? NNU, Nigerian News Updates. It was very much popular then, right? So it came out and NNU is simply a referral site where you refer people and then they
So you have been doing this thing back in the day.
Bro, I don't do plenty things. So you refer people, they will pay you, right? So the registration fee for NNU there was 1,600 per referral. They pay 1,000. So someone first told me about NNU. I look at you like, is this thing not scam? So I waited aside. Then after like a month plus, another person came again, NNU, on my WhatsApp. And I said, okay, let me try this thing. I could remember the day I paid that money because then I was in school now. It was literally like I was giving someone like 100 million naira. My heart was beating. Like when I sent the money, it took the guy for like some minutes to reply. 1.6. My heart was like, this guy just coming. My mind was literally beating. So the guy replied to me and he put me through. So when I entered, that's okay. I have to start referring people. No problem. So I know a couple of guys there in school now, like some of my friends. So I'm like, there's this thing I started to do. I added all of them to a group plus other people. And then you just be posting. Then one of the ways to earn is to refer, and that way is to earn is to be reading their news they used to post, right? So I'll just every time opening news. So I did that in the first month. I made 15,000. Yeah, the first month.
Interesting.
Then the second month I made 5,000. Then NNU crashed because then the users were so much. I think they had about 800 and something thousand users, so they couldn't keep up with paying everybody. Yeah. Of course, the sponsor scheme will eventually get to that. But I've made the money, and it felt so good to actually make money with your smartphone. Now, first money was I went to sites to do the brass work, and this one I made it with my smartphone. So the feeling they were different. Yeah. It was just different. It was more of like when you test something that is so sweet for the first time, you keep going back, you get addicted to it. So it was so sweet and special to me. So then during that second month, I was already on holiday. So that holiday, I then started thinking of other things. Okay, what am I going to do? So I used that money I made from NNU to start a blog, right? I can remember I messaged someone because then I didn't have like a card to use.
You wanted to become the next Linda Ikeji.
See, I was already posting on my status. I'm going to challenge Linda Ikeji. This.
I know the feeling.
So I thought it was going to be.
I started a blog in 2016, so I know.
I thought it was going to be a smooth ride. Like next time, Linda Ikeji will become afraid of me. Before you know it, I post. I'll go to Google first page, search by this thing.
It's not ranking. You see it's number 100 and something.
My post is not there say, God, let it be this. And they will not say that you are copying people. I put like a couple of times I was just tired. I gave up on that one. So, of course, not how Nigeria is now. Because NNU came out, NNU was the first type of this kind. Now, as it crashed, other ones started springing up. There was so many ones. The next one I entered was Get Paid. But then I didn't have money again to start again because I've literally spent all my money on blogging, right? When the only money I had then was 800 Naira. Then I messaged a friend of mine. His name is DOD. And I called him. I said, please, guy, can you send me 1,000? I'm going to pay you back. Yeah, he sent it to me, right? Which I'm very grateful for that he did that. Because as me, he didn't send it. There's no way else to get that money. So he sent it to me. Then I registered on Get Paid. I was very serious with it. So I started making money. It got to a point in a week I could do like 15K, 16K, 17K. I think the highest I picked in a week was 25K. But then it was a lot of money for me because making 15K in a week means in a month I'm making 60K. For someone that hasn't seen money before, it was a whole lot of money for me, right? So I did Get Paid. Then at a point, I was like ranking top in Get Paid, like top 5. You are going to call my name. But of course, it crashed because it's a Ponzi, it crashed. So maybe it crashed.
You have a thing with Ponzi games.
I was looking for money, bro.
I have a cousin that I'm always trolling, and if he watches this video, he's going to. I'm always trolling. I'm like, bro, since when me and you they grow up, from this one to this one to this one to, bro, what's going on?
So you can't blame me. I was just looking for money here and there. Then immediately that one crashed. I went to the next one, 007 Reporters. That one crashed. I went to, I was basically, so at a point, I got tired because there were much. So what made me stop wasn't because I got tired. It was because I made a new update. And now that update is that, so because the way we get customers is we go to Facebook groups and be like, if you're interested in making 50K a month, drop your WhatsApp number and I'm going to show you how. So you see like 100, 200 comments. So I will now write down all those numbers and save it on my phone manually. Like in a day, I could save like 500 numbers.
Crazy.
Then I'll now go and add them to WhatsApp.
Now this makes sense when you start doing affiliate marketing. These are like the building blocks.
Everywhere you see Caleb, I'm carrying book of numbers. My mom be asking me, where did I get all this number from? Where exactly is this boy? Did numbers, number everywhere.
That's crazy,
bro. Number everywhere. So I will add them to WhatsApp group, right? Then I'll now start, the normal sending messages to them, alert, this. So we used to do the class by class. So now at the end, now say the registration fee is 1.6. And of course, because it's very affordable, a whole lot of people will message you and they will register, right? So I kept doing that. But then once I brought an update that if you add people that don't have your contact, they will automatically ban you. So I started suffering WhatsApp ban and it was frustrating. Because without WhatsApp, there's no way the business will move forward. Yeah. Telegram wasn't an option. So I did it at that point.
What year was this?
And this year was in 2018, 2019. The thing stopped in 2019, early 2019, around kind March, April, right? That's when the whole casala was. From that, I saved about 300 and something thousand Naira to 400K. As I saved. So I was not thinking, okay, what am I going to do with this money? Because I didn't want to waste that money. No. And one thing I loved about myself, I didn't have the moment of where I made money and I just funded everything like recklessly. No, I didn't have that moment. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this money? Right? And I thought, okay, I'm someone that I would love to own a company in the future, which is part, I'm still working towards it, right? But then I thought, okay, I have this money, what am I going to do? So Mama now told me I should start a company with it, an age tech company. Right. So I started a company. Then I had 2 co-founders. So
Interesting.
yeah, basically my roommates in school. Then I was already reading stories of founders, people that started from nothing and they became. So I was so
You're
much
inspired.
motivated.
You're pumped.
I was so much motivated to do this stuff. So I did my business name. I created one company in school then. That was in Futo. I did my business name. Then did my website for my company. I can remember they charged me about 170-something thousand for the website, right? Then for the business name, about 20K. So after I finished doing everything, I've already spent like 200-something K. So what was left out of that money was about 70K. And I just wanted to use that 70K for marketing, right? Our website there was very sharp, very nice. So what was the company about? We just wanted to be connecting skilled and unskilled workers to people that need their service,
Nice.
right? So we like middlemen. Of course, it was a very good idea, but we didn't organize it very well, right? So we finished everything, and it was mainly like about 70K for marketing. Now, 70K for marketing is a small money. So we paid one company to help us run WhatsApp marketing ads on the whole community of Futo. So they did it and nothing showed up. Like, we didn't make a single revenue from the company.
Yeah.
So at first, one of my co-founders left that he wasn't really interested again, right? Then the second person, immediately he saw everything was crashing and there was no hope. He left. So I basically financed every single thing with my money. And it didn't go through. So basically, I lost all the money I had.
What was the name
there.
of the company?
The name of the company is Easy Busy. Yeah, I remember.
Easy busy.
Yes. So well, Easy Business, we now shorten it as BUSY. Easy Busy. Yeah. So at that point, I was so much frustrated and I literally lost hope because it was like everything I've worked hard for, it just went. And not like I made a single revenue, nothing, like literally nothing. So it was so painful to me. So that's May. See, this thing was happening till around June, July. From that June, July to like June, July, September, October, I didn't do anything in my life because that period became a very bad period for me. Generally, like it was a very bad period for me. So I was literally depressed. In fact, 2019 is the worst year of my life. There is no year that can top 2019 because it will never come, right? It's the worst year of my life. I was literally depressed and I contemplated suicide a whole lot of time.
Wow.
The reason why I did not commit suicide was the fact that I didn't know where I was going. So what if
you're afraid of going to a fire? You know?
So what if I died at the place I'm going? You just like, what's that here? What will happen? So I just said, let me just stay where I did. At least we have. That's the only reason why I didn't keep myself. If not, I won't be here.
Right now, do you know where you're going?
Exactly.
Right now, you do know where you're going to right now.
Right now, of course.
You still go to a fire? See?
No, I'm dining with God.
You say?
Dining with the angels.
You say?
So that's 2019. So around.
So where did the affiliate marketing come in the mix?
I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
So around 2019, I was literally starting from scratch now. So I now think, okay, what am I going to do? So one thought now came to my. So when I was in school, I used to go to betting shop to charge my phone. But of course, if you go there a lot, you will learn 1 or 2 about booking games. You see people play virtual, go over 2.5, all those things. So I know how to book straight win and everything. Now, if I book games and play it myself, it's too cut. Why? Because I'll use 100 naira. I wanted to make 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, right? So now, under idea came to my head, okay, why not sell these games to people? But you won't be selling long tickets. You can be selling like 2 or 3 odd. And I looked at it, was like, oh, this is a fantastic. Since I can book games. So I just went to Bet Nigeria website. So I just created a WhatsApp group. They started advertising the WhatsApp group on Facebook betting groups, and people were joining. So I'll be sending them free games. Of course, there were some apps then that will help you predict games. So I'll just from there pick games and send them. Because I will send it this way, 2 odd into like 5 to 10 places. And out of those 2 odd, if I send 10 games, maybe like 6 we play. All right. So some of people that play those ones that play, they will not send me testimony. I'll not use those testimony. I'll be like, if you want to subscribe to my VIP, message me. And then my VIP then was like about 2,000 naira. And people were messaging me. So the first month I did that, I made about 80-something K. Yeah. Second month, I made about 100 and something.
So would you say selling is something that you just learned over time from everything
to be honest, it was just like the experience kept compiling and kept compiling. Like no one literally taught me selling.
Yeah.
It kept compiling. I kept learning from the experience. So second month, I made about 100 and something K, right? That was ending of 2019. So we entered 2020 January. I kept doing it. I can remember I bought a new phone with it, and I was now making money. And my parents were like, "Oh, I'm making money." Oh. So like I was becoming, the vibe was becoming to come up. So COVID came 2020. I could remember in February, I think February, March was when they stopped football because of COVID.
No.
So since no more football, no more business for me. It was like this thing I found out to be working now has stopped. I was like, how? So I started thinking again. So what am I going to do? So during that December 2019, I bought a mini importation company because my idea was if I raise capital from this betting stuff, I will go to mini importation because then mini importation was everywhere, right? So I'll go to mini importation. Now, I bought a mini importation course. I studied it, but I've not done mini importation before.
Yeah.
So when football stopped, my man told me, okay, you haven't done mini importation and they've grounded flights, which means you can't do it, but you can teach it because you've gone to the academy, you understand the process. I said, oh, cool, I can actually do this stuff. So
No, before online with that.
I know that's online. I'm teaching you. What I thought that was actually what was working. I haven't done it myself, but it was working.
Okay.
Right, and I had agents contacts I could give from that course. I could give out, right? So I started teaching them. So I started advertising. I'll just enter any WhatsApp group, then post my link. If they remove me, I'll post my link there. Next thing they will remove me, I say no problem. Same on Facebook. So people are joining. I started doing it. The first month I made about 150K from it because then for per class I'll make like 20 something K per class. Then next time I said, okay, let me add more skill to this. So now when I paid someone and I learned phone graphics and then how to do animation. This animation they used to do there with Plotagon app and there's one website like you can use and do white animation. I've forgotten, render forest or something like that.
I think so.
So I learned it and then phone graphics. Then I knew how to design like small, not like very fine graphics, but at least something good shall come out from PZ Lab. So I started teaching those things. So because of that, if you don't buy mini importation, the next day class, you can buy animation and phone graphics. So it was usually like a 2 days class. So I did that around around April, May, June. Yeah, like a period of 3 months, I did it, right? Then WhatsApp banned my number. Another ban again. So with this way I had audience, WhatsApp banned them and like it was like zero moment again for me. This one again I'm using to feed myself when I don't carry and go. So at that point I was tired. I can remember like staying on the bed. I would just be thinking, so is this how my life my life is going to end? Like what's the next for me? Is this how everything is going to end? Right? I was depressed too at that moment. So that's for like a month I didn't do something. Right? But I already had in total I already had about like 400K again saved. Right, so one of the days in June or July, I was scrolling to Twitter and I saw a tweet of someone. The guy was like saying that he started a new business model. So this is a sort of how affiliate marketing came into the picture. Yeah. He started a new business model and in just 4 days, he has made his salary. I was like, wow, interesting.
Who was the guy?
Bruno Nwogo.
Oh, that's right. Bruno's
he's
story.
He's my good friend now.
Yeah.
So I looked at him.
See, I just claim I'm lesson only your friend.
He don't know you. They know you. So I looked at it. In that tweet, you know how Twitter used to be now? People from unloved homes. They were just abusing him. It's time Twitter there. They were just abusing him.
Did you really say people from unloved homes?
Yeah, of course. They were not loved at home. They were just abusing him. I did not comment there. I did not like it. I just screenshotted it. Then went to his team. I was like, please, I would like to know about this. And I told me, all right, there is no get rich quick scheme. There's no problem. So then he now sent me a video which was the 72 IG course. Yeah. By Toyin Motor Show. The course there was 40K. So I just paid immediately. I finished watching that video. I paid him. I didn't ask him any single question. I just paid him.
What made you pay? What do you see? Because
I had the money. 2, because what sold me was 750K a month. When I heard that I can make 750K a month with my smartphone, I was still reasoning, do you know what 750K a month is going to do for my life? Well, I'm going to literally be a big boy. That was just it. I just paid the money immediately, right? So, of course, when I paid the money, I got a course and...
Well, wasn't that risky, though?
Yeah, it was risky. I mean, I was literally paying money to someone I didn't know. He has a good following on Twitter and people respect him, but still, I didn't know him. And 40K then for someone that was, I was like 20 years, yes, 20 or 21. So for 40K then to me was a lot of money, because if I have 400K and I'm removing 40K to pay for a course, that means I'm taking out 10% of my worth to pay for a course, right? So it was risky, but then my kind of person, I love taking risky a whole lot. I literally love taking risky a whole lot, right? And I don't know when that started, but I know that as a child, if you tell me not to go here, I will eventually want to go there. And there was a time I fell inside fire. That was because
you were too curious.
Exactly. And they were warning me at a point, I fell inside a fire. Then, and I said, okay, this is fire and all that. So it was risky, but then again, I just wanted to make money. Because I looked at it, 750K a month compared to 40K.
Yeah.
They are not nowhere near.
True.
And I saw testimonies of people that have done it, videos. So there was so much convincing, I just had to pay it. Right. So when I started the course, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all.
Can I pause you and ask you a question?
Yeah.
What drives you, basically? Your story defines like great hustle, push, and all of that. There was literally no slowing down moment. What drives you? Okay, so I would really say that right from childhood, I just wanted to be great, right? Probably because I grew up not having money. Yeah. Maybe I just wanted to feel what's having money. Like, literally having money and having it is like... So it was just naturally inbuilt on me. So how do you feel right now? Yeah, I still feel to make... You don't feel good? Of course, I feel good because having money makes your life easy. It makes your life like way easy. And then now I now see the need to even make way more money. You get? I now feel the need to make way more. So I think it's the fact that it's either if it has to come from the fact I didn't come from a well-to-do family, or it's just naturally in me. Because then when I was small, I would be thinking by the time I'm 21, I would have been driving this car. I would have been making this amount of money. I would have been married by 25. I would have been doing all those things. I will bring you back to that thing I said. No problem. I would have been doing all those things. Then if I see a plane pass, I'll be like, one day I'm going to go on an aeroplane. Stuff like that. That's my thoughts as a child. So it was just inbuilt in me, right? So that's what drives me. Great. So you started taking the course, and then I started taking the course. Of course, I had some money left from the money I already had. So the course taught about email marketing and running ads on Facebook. So because I had cash, I just went straight into email marketing there. I was pumping money into ads. Not sale was coming. Like I spent about 100 and something K on ads. Sale didn't come. Then I will come and be complaining on the support group on Telegram, what's going on. People will tell me that it's my follow-up sequence that is not good. I went and bought one other course. I modeled the follow-up sequence that is in that course. Used it didn't work. And that person said it's my target. And I went and bought another separate Facebook ad course. It wasn't working. So at a point I stopped. Like momentarily gave up. Then an idea now came to my head. Wait, because the reason why I didn't do WhatsApp market was because I didn't know anybody on WhatsApp. Because my business number that I was using for the home importation was banned. So then on my WhatsApp, if I post, I would get like 5 views. So I literally did not know anybody. So but one idea I came. But I already done this thing before, which means I can build my audience from scratch. And that was like the eureka moment, right? So, and I said, this would actually work. So I set up a WhatsApp this thing, and I started running ads because I learned running ads from the course, right? So I had idea of running ads. So I started running ads from Facebook to WhatsApp, right? So now, since I've already done mini importation and a graphics class, so what I was doing then is when they come, I use free graphics and animation class to like as a lead magnet to lure them into my funnel. So when people come, of course, I will go ahead and teach them animation and graphics for free. But then what I do is that beginning of the class, I will first like talk about how to make money online, ways to make money online. Right. So during that 3 months when I was struggling with affiliate marketing, I made one sale of 72 IG. And I don't know where that sale came from till today because the person never reached out to me. But I had that as a proof of me making money. Plus, I got payouts. I had it as a proof. So I'll use that and say, okay, affiliate marketing is also one of the ways you can make money online. I'll now put that as my testimony, my payments, right? Yeah. So that helps me. So because that's the only one I had proof on, people would be messaging me, they want to learn and all that. So I would start teaching them affiliate marketing, then sell them a course. So that was how I started with affiliate marketing. And I kept doing it. So that then went into Twitter, influencer marketing, and then that was like literally
how affiliate marketing blew up.
So the Facebook ad thing was not working for a while, and then started doing like you started paying Twitter influencers and all that.
So Facebook, when I was doing the animation stuff, it was working, but the conversion was really low because these guys were coming for animation and graphics, and I'm trying to take them from there to affiliate marketing to buy a course. So it was literally like dragging a horse to the stream, so it wasn't easy. So now there was something that made me to move into Twitter influencer marketing. So there was one day that was in January 2021. So there was one tweet that this man on Twitter, Dr. Joe Abba, he made that tweet. He was like, which business can he start with 1 million and making an average of 20K weekly as a side hustle? And then that tweet blew up. Like there were thousands, about 2K comments, right? So I happened to see that tweet very early. I think like 30 minutes after he made it. I was in church that day, and I was going through my phone and I saw it. I quickly just dropped an ad. But it wasn't really like an ad. I was like, there's a business model he can start with even less than 1 million, and he's making as much as 50K weekly. I make that myself, right? Because then I was already making that money from those Facebook people, right? So my response blew up. That day, my DM did not rest. People were DMing me. I got about up to 200 and something DMs. So now what I did was I was bringing them to my WhatsApp, like, okay, are you on WhatsApp? Or click here to send me a message on WhatsApp. People were literally contacting my WhatsApp. So as they come, I'll save their number, they will save mine, then I'll start explaining to. And for some reasons, to people from Twitter, we are converting a whole lot. Probably because that target audience already were searching about business, right? So they were like, people were literally buying. Then like I started making money. That was from there, I started making about 100K, 150 something K weekly. So I was like, okay, let me start paying influencers to start running ads on Twitter. So that's why I started. Some influencers were charging us like 100K per post, 50K per post.
Out of the 100K, 50K per post, how much would you make back?
Yes. Okay, now so some big influencers can do 50K per post, 100K per post. Some will charge you in a week, 100K a week. Right? But if I pay that 100K a week, at the end of the day, they will bring me this, and at the end of the day, I can make like $1 million from that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So it was
I was like,
good enough for you to keep going back.
I was like, I'm one of the first people that started. So there was nobody literally doing. The only ads we see on Twitter then was the one Frankie FS Forest ad then. So affiliate marketing was very new then. So people were coming. I was telling. So I was my sales started coming up. At the point I started, my whole initial motivation for starting affiliate marketing was 750K. But at the point I started doing 750K a week, $1 million a week, $1 million plus a week. And that was just it.
What was the highest you ever made in a week?
Okay, the highest I ever made in a week was 11 million.
Are you
in a week?
I can't water your mouth. You made how much in a week? In 1 week?
Yeah, just 1 week.
How did that happen?
So there was a discount that the platform was running, right? So I leveraged on that discount. Plus, as a marketer, you don't just, if you have a flash sale, and they're affiliating for a company, don't just, of course, you add your own bonuses and your own offers. So I already had audience base, right? A hungry audience base. And I added my own offers and it blew up. Like that, the first day of that flash sale, I make 4.1 million the first day.
Crazy. That means you made like sales of like around 22 million for you to get 11 million at
because 50% my commission was 50%, so I made 20-something million in sales in just 1 week. Like that week, I couldn't rest.
That's crazy.
My phones were buzzing, like I couldn't rest because imagine doing 200 and something sales in just one person. I didn't have someone helping me, just one person attending to everybody. It was crazy, but I did it. So that was like affiliate marketing just blew up, and I started traveling to lots of countries. Like I've gone to Qatar, Dubai, Seychelles, Egypt, right? Like it blew up, and then my social started blowing up, my Twitter started blowing up. It's from there I got my 170,000 followers on Twitter. Then my Instagram started blowing up, my Facebook started blowing up. Like literally, people, my name was everywhere. If you call affiliate marketing, people will say, "Oh, Kene, Nwanneka." Like people that I don't know. If I go out, people will, because I was like living like a rock star, like a celebrity, not the vibe.
Interesting.
So like, if I go out, people will record. There was even one of the days I went to do COVID test. Yeah, COVID test, right? Because I was traveling the next day. And I was literally on face mask. And the guy doing the COVID test, he recognized me on face mask. I was shocked, right? So, like, it was just the whole thread blowing up here and there. So that was just it about affiliate marketing.
Where did this name come from, Hot Boy Caleb?
Oh, okay, so Hot Boy Caleb, yeah. So how that one came about. So then, of course, at the point, they said that dragging affiliate marketers, this calling this scam. Of course, Nigerians now, things they don't know, they just tend to call it scam. right? Because that's how an average Nigerian is. When a person sees that you are doing, it's the thing about Nigerians is that you know that this person is doing more than you.
Yeah.
The next thing that will come to their mind is a way to bring you down. It's not a way to learn from you. It's not a way to level up. It's a way to bring you down. So they will still call affiliate marketing scam, this. So when we were dragging affiliate marketers, now of course, it's not on that same Twitter. That's where everything comes out from. So one person I made one Twitter, and I said that even that one said hot boy Kene. So I was on vacation even when that whole thing was going on. So that was how that name came about. Hot boy Kene.
Yeah. So do you have like people you've trained as well and all of that?
Of course, I've trained quite a lot of people and they're making crazy money, right? I've trained quite a lot. Then I had thousands of students and most of them, of course, I won't tell you that all of them were making money because when it comes to making money, there are things that enable you to make money. If I can literally teach you every single thing that will help you hit 1 million a month. But if you don't do what you're supposed to do, which is the work on your part, you still will not make it, right? Yeah. But out of my students, the majority of them were making money, 1 million plus a month, 2 million, 3 million a month, 4, 5 million every single month. Right. So I have like lots of students that were successful and they were making so much money with affiliate marketing. So I had lots of students making money.
Interesting. So now I haven't made like a lot of money from affiliate marketing. Yeah. What's your approach to like saving, managing money and all of that?
Okay, so well, about that, I'm the last born for my family. So I didn't have so much siblings on my neck. So black tax, yeah, of course, there'll still be black tax, no, one or two, but it wasn't so much on my head. Yeah, so that helped me. I got to save a huge chunk of the money I made from, because then when I was making those money, I was living with my brother in where he was living. I was living with him. So I was literally not spending anything on accommodation. Feeding, I would eat what they cook because I was living with his wife and the kids. He's not in Nigeria. So whatever thing they cook, I will eat. I don't eat what I want. Whatever thing they cook is what I eat. So I wasn't spending money on accommodation. I wasn't spending on feeding. I didn't have a car, right? So literally, I was basically spending zero on myself. In a month, I could just spend maybe like 100K or 80-something-K or 50-something-K a month. And those are like small things. Maybe I went out. So not much spending. Imagine in a month, you're making like 10 million, 12, 15 million. Yeah. And then what you're spending out of that money in a month is just like 100K, 50K on yourself. So that means every part of that money is going to savings. So that helped me save a huge chunk of the money, right? And I was careful not to rush and start anything again with that money because I've had a bad experience with rushing to start something. So I was careful not to start investment, this, that. I was so careful not to do that. So I saved a good amount of the money I made from affiliate marketing.
Are you also afraid that you could go back to being broke again?
Of course, right? You see, the thing about when you make money, you are going to be afraid of going back to poverty. Because if you taste money, if you taste good life, you don't want to go back to it. Because, I mean, things like, then when I was growing up, I would think that having AC in your house is luxury, having a cook is luxury, having a cleaner is luxury, having a gateman is luxury, having some things, 247 light is luxury. But right now I have those things and they feel like basic things of life. Right? So going back to that state where you have to, you literally don't know, you have to go and buy things and be checking the price. Going back to those states is terrifying. The thought of it alone is terrifying, right? So of course, I know I can't go to the extent where I won't have food to eat. I can't. But then, for someone that's already made money, his version of being broke cannot be the version of an average person of being broke. Yeah. If someone can be telling they're broke now and looking at them, they have 15 million in their account, but to them, they are so broke. And that person will be saying they're broke and in their account, they have 10 million, they're broke. And that person, they're broke. 2,000 naira is their broke limit. So people have their own broke limit. Right, so that's just it.
In all of this, what would you say are the like top 3 lessons you have learned?
Okay, so about that, I've learned quite a lot of lessons, right? And one of the most important lessons I've learned in life, and still learning, is the fact that life doesn't always go up, right? Life doesn't always go up. Like it's just up and down movement. I mean, you could go up, like you see your life, you do so amazingly well, you're earning so much, and then in a twinkle of an eye, down. Yeah. Right? Because it happened to me a whole lot of time. If you just look at my story, I started from this thing, from making money in a site, and before I know it, that one stopped. And then I went to NNU, I made money, and before I know it, I lost the whole money. Then I started, like, you could literally be making so much money at a point, because that's how life does. Nothing goes up forever. At a point, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up. But then one of the most important lessons I've learned is the fact that the way you manage your resource when things are going well for you is what is going to push you to the next level, right? Because the way life is, if you go up, you're going to come down, but you won't come down to the point you started from. You're going to hang at a point. Now, the next leg up will take you higher than you were before. But that will only happen if you have enough resource to back yourself not to fall down to the lowest ground. If you don't have that resource, you're going to go back to the lowest ground. And when you get to the lowest ground, coming back up is not easy. Right? So, one of the lessons I've learned is managing resource very well. Just like the Bible, just like the dream of Pharaoh to the So for the Egyptians, 7 years of plentiful and 7 years of famine. The only that sustained the Egyptians were what they did with their resource in the 7 years of plentiful.
That makes a lot of sense.
So that applies to life. We will all always have 7 years of plentiful and 7 years of lack. I was speaking to a mentor of mine. That was like in 2022, and he was telling me how much he lost. This is someone that was, since his company was making figures, and then at the point he's still losing so much money. But he was able to come out of that because of the way he managed his resources. So managing your resources is key important, because those period of famine, those resources is going to keep you going. And then if you now see an opportunity, because you already have a resource, you can quickly take up that opportunity. It won't be as the same as someone that is starting from scratch. Right, so that's one key lesson I've learned. And that key lesson I've learned is not giving up. I mean, when it seems that everything is all done and there's literally no hope again, if you don't give up, you always come back up. Right? I mean, it's only over when you're dead. But so far you're alive and breathing, there's always hope. I mean, you may feel like there's no hope, but when it will come, you won't know. Right? So you just learn to live the moment. Worry less about the future. Of course, I'm not saying that you should not be relaxed. Of course, you keep trying to get yourself, but worry less about tomorrow, because you don't know what tomorrow is going. Because, okay, let me take an example. Back then in 2020, when I was worrying myself, or let's say 2019, that I've lost all my money to a startup and nothing came out, as soon as I knew that my 2024 is going to be like this, I would have worried less. But then I was worrying so much about tomorrow that I can't change. So, while trying to, of course, you keep working to better yourself, keep learning new skills, but don't forget to live the present. Because the present is what you can see, you can hold. The past is gone, you don't know what the future is. Right? I'm not saying someone is going to die, but don't know if you're going to be alive for the future, right? Because there's a possibility of that. So you live the present while making plans for the future. Now, with that plans, you see that the future is always going to be better. It's always going to be bright. So these are the 3 lessons. First of all, you manage your resource. 2, you don't give up. And finally, you live your future, enjoy your life while you plan ahead. Keep making plans and keep working on those goals. And with these 3 things, your life would always get better.
This is basically the best place to end this show right now. There's still a lot to talk about, but we're going to do it in another episode when we record. Again, so thank you very much for coming on the show. Tell people to subscribe to the channel. All right, you guys should subscribe to Joseph Don channel, right? Just below here, you're going to see a subscribe button. Click on it and subscribe. Just do it for Caleb Money, right? Just do it for me. Look at this proud nigga. Okay, should I take back my statement? You say? Should I tell you how to subscribe? Take it back now. Take it back. It's not to win on record. All right, guys, take care of yourself. See you in another episode. Cheers. All right.